Come on, boy. Don't make this harder on yourself.
Did he get out again?
Yeah, he got a little too close to Commander Rourke. You know how Rourke is around dogs.
No kidding. Rourke almost used him for target practice yesterday.
Welcome back to Geist. Looks like our haunting shenanigans today will involve a cute dog. And maybe a lady with a southern accent who has a rat on her shoulder? She seems to have disappeared though, so maybe not. For now, we will focus on that dog. Because why wouldn't we? Let's see if we can't play with this thing first. Possess the security camera. For no great reason. Just has a little filter over the screen. But they're going to watch our suspicious activity, which they should be closely monitoring, because they're aware that a ghost has escaped, and they might not do anything about it. We'll see soon enough. The dog's name is Phantom. And he is fairly nonplussed about our presence compared to the dogs in the previous level. Only thing we can really play with in here is his food bowl. If you really want to scare a dog, you gotta hit him where it hurts. The one thing he truly cares about. That delicious kibble. Acting suspiciously. And then we gotta throw it in his face. Poor guy. That scares him enough that we can hop in his body and take over. Obviously, in a game where you can possess things, living things, non-living things, pretty much anything, you would want to possess a dog. It seems fun to just be a dog for a while. But this game, they make you psychologically torture the dog before you get that prize. This game is a little cruel to the player and all the characters within it. There's our dog. He can jump very awkwardly, but it's a good thing he can jump. So there's our exit, obviously, but if we take a quick look at the map, we'll see. We are looking right at that exit, but what's behind us? Some kind of hole way high up in the wall. Let us investigate further. So there's a bunch of random junk piled up over here, and all the way at the top of that junk is some kind of vent. So let's do some dog platforming. Which is needlessly difficult, because they mapped the jump button to the left shoulder button. I don't know how familiar you are with GameCube controllers. The shoulder buttons are very awkward on these things. You have to press it all the way down. There's a lot of dead air when it is in neutral position. So you really gotta slam the thing. It throws off your timing. Doesn't always read properly. How did anyone ever win a Smash Brothers competition? Probably because everyone else was dealing with these same terrible shoulder buttons. They're not terrible for all things, but they are definitely terrible for platforming. Unforgivably bad. Dark and Sky also mapped their jump button to the shoulder buttons. We could remap it there. Cannot do so here. But we finally got into this vent. This horribly maintained vent. In this horribly maintained facility. And it brought us to a host collectible. So obviously we had to come here. Now let's take a quick look at our collection screen. That was the third host collectible of this level. We are actually in an optional shortcut area, and that's how much of this level it skips. We skipped half of the host collectibles by coming here. Also, every level in the game has 2 ghost collectibles, except the first level, which has nothing. So there's more platforming. Gets us to another vent. And if we go down this way, we will eventually come to a room that is way, way, way further down in the level. So I'm gonna turn back, because we've skipped 2 host collectibles, and we would miss so much of this level. Just all the puzzles and stuff they designed for a huge portion of the level completely missed if we take this shortcut. It is pretty absurd level design, but they did make it enough of a pain to get up here that it is a fitting reward. Also, this room has a chandelier in it, which is on a crumbling ceiling. This big fancy like church door, and is being used as a dog kennel / steel wool storage facility. Steel cable, it's not steel wool. Anyway, let's go through the intended route by barking at this guard.
Hey, boy.
This guard also enjoys some mischief, so he's gonna open the door for us. Wants to see what kind of hijinks we get into. Who could blame him? Obviously, we want to see the same. Start some silly music playing. Rats wandering about, because despite the elaborate design of this entire facility, horribly, horribly maintained. Now when we bark at the rats, they become scared, so we'll be able to possess them shortly. But why would we? We are happy being this dog. Got some sort of pumping machine we can check out on our dog adventures. We got more host collectibles. Just reach all the way back there with our dog arm. Grab that. Unlock Raimi and Rabbit as playable characters in multiplayer. So here's why we have to have, well, we have to have some kind of host to open the door in the first place, and to get through this force field. Because we can't be a ghost and go through the force field. So we did it. We're through.
Hey, boy.
Up. This guard is more responsible in his duties. So he scoops us up and sends us back to the starting room. All the way back to our cage. Then we escape again. Bark at the same guard.
Hey, boy.
And he lets us right back out. I like this guy. But what that means is we cannot go through the next area as Phantom. And that is why we scared the rats. When we're a rat, we can find this tiny hole here. Yep, you better believe it's for rodents. Creep on through with another different color palette. So this, I believe, is the correct route. We don't want to go on the correct route. Because when there's a branching path, you got collectibles. There we go. Come on. You can do it. Thank you. We have to be far enough away to actually get it. So obviously, we didn't skip half the level with that shortcut. Or we would not have. We only skipped maybe a quarter to a third of the entire level, which is nonetheless a huge portion. So the guards don't care about the rat. They see these things all day and night in this horribly unsafe working environment. So unsafe, in fact, that we're going to use randomly misplaced explosives to murder the guards. That's just the sort of thing we get up to. Still in slow motion there for a second. But now that stormtrooper's good and dead. There is a second guard, though. Wait for him to make his way to one of our explosive boxes. It's close enough now. And take him out. Now there is nothing to stop Phantom as he does some further exploring. But first, the rat can't go over here, which is the only reason we can't complete the rest of the level with the rat. Just the little obstacles they put in here get very, very silly, and they're about to get sillier. Because over here is the path to progress. This gigantic vent, easily 5 feet across. We could fit our entire ethereal body in there if we ducked down just a tiny little bit. But Ghost Raimi can only increase his height. He cannot decrease his height, despite how easy that would be if he were in a human host or he just bent his ghost knees. But no, we won't be doing that. We will be returning to Phantom and having Phantom go on the rest of this adventure. For some reason. This means a little bit of backtracking, but we only have to go through the force field here. We can walk over this. Then we get back to our dog, who remains scared. He's now separated from his beloved food. Might be a while before he can return to it. Good thing he is fast. Much faster than the rat. Now we can go through the vent. They deign to allow us access. Let the music breathe a little bit, because it really does add to the atmosphere here. I really don't understand the tone that they're going for in this game. It's all over the place. Another guard. Should we try and sneak past him, maybe? Last one tried to send us back.
Hey, boy.
This one is just happy to have some company. As long as we stay quiet.
Hey, boy. Hey, boy.
Okay. He changed his mind. He just wants us to go lie down. Now, if we had followed that shortcut in the beginning of the level, through the vent, this is where it lets out. This vent back here. So we skip that whole section with the rat and blowing up the guards, which means the guards continue to live. And we would be able to interact with them later on. But they no longer have that privilege, because we went the intended route. But this is a scare room. We are gonna use random household objects to freak out this guard back here, because he made the mistake of allowing Phantom to hang around. First, we throw a ladder at him. We can continue to wiggle it around while it's on the ground. That moves him over to the corner of the room, where there's a fire extinguisher. We'll prank him again. That moves him close to the center of the room. High voltage power box. Even as a ghost, it is unsafe to play with the power. So, we'll have to find a roundabout way to do that. with this pressure gauge. We have to do a lot of button mashing to get this thing to work. There it goes. Now he's terrified. And we have a new host. Same host we had last time, really. Just in a different location. And this steam will hurt us. We can, at this point, shoot Phantom. Unlike the dogs in the last level, Phantom is immortal. He's bulletproof. That little harness he's wearing grants him a force field. We cannot kill Phantom, but I'm still not going to shoot him, because it's not a cool thing to do. That door, which we could not open as a dog, nor as a ghost, brings us to the room we were just in, where we blew up those guards. All this to get ourselves a single scared guard. They have this slip portal here. In case you end up here as a ghost, because they closed the door, and only a human can open the door. I don't know why they bothered to close the door, though. Just leave the door open, and then you don't have to put a slip portal there. Whatever. I'm not a professional game designer. I'm not fully convinced the people at Endspace were either, but there you go. If those guards had continued to live, and we had spoken to them, their line would have been, the only excitement we get around here is when that dog gets out. So, even though they were bothered by Phantom, they secretly loved him. He was the best part of this job. And, we used him to kill them.
Sir.
We have no regrets about that, because we're a horrible evil ghost. We can also do a little mischief in here with this sprinkler. Just this tiny little clump of pixels you can barely see. If you crane your neck all the way up, you can pop into a sprinkler and use it to scare people. But it doesn't scare them, it just irritates them. It is entirely pointless. It is just there if you want to get 100%. The developers are like, hey, you love our game? Want to get total completion in it? Then suffer with tiny, impossible pixel hunting.
Sir.
Another separation, we know about that. That is Tom Bryson. So these doors here, we saw one in the last room. I conspicuously did not bother to interact with it. Engineer in the hydroponics room. Engineer required to open these doors. They do have these eye scanners. They're not gonna let us through. Our retinas aren't proper, so we need to get better retinas. And that slip portal should be of assistance in this creepy goal that we have. Brings us to a fancy room with electronic arms and a different character model. Also, way up here, a large stone head carved into the wall. What is with the decor here in Volkscorp? I legitimately do not understand what the hell is going on in this building. Something not right, that's for sure. There's a bunch of stuff to look at back there, but we'll look at it later. For now, we'll look at these. They're supposed to move large plant samples, but if we spin them around of their own volition, they will spray water at the engineer. He's terrified of water. So he runs over to the computer, tries to figure out what's wrong. Unfortunately for him, that laptop is possessable. So while he's trying to get these things under control, we can give him the ultimate terror. Porno pop-ups on a work computer. What did he do wrong? He's gotta look up the antivirus. Oh, he crashed the whole damn thing. Horrifying. We've all been there, quite honestly. And then we just strangle him with robot arms. Really, that scare was more for us, the computer pop-up scare. And effective it was. But, yeah, the attempted murder is what really got this guy. So he's off running. Let's see what else we can do with this computer without him on it. Can hop back in there and degauss it. I don't think laptops needed degaussing, and that's something I'm sure a lot of people watching this won't even remember degaussing being a thing, but indeed it was. That's possessable, but we'll get to possess a identical computer later on. This guy's got places to be. He's running for that elevator off in the distance.
Ow! So no.
Hey, that lift giving you trouble again?
Yeah, it keeps crapping out. So he's up next, huh?
Yeah, Volks wants him strapped in ASAP. The old man loves to play with his toy.
Okay, so this guy, who was complicit in the kidnapping and inevitable separation of our good friend, he was changing circuits, and he left them back on that desk, all the way over there, where we were haunting earlier. But he wanted to go through this elevator. But the elevator blows the fuse when you try to use it. Like you mentioned, the wiring back here is so faulty, trying to use it blows the whole system out. Ruins all their hydroponics. There's a vat of gross liquid back there. And a little red aura around this box. That means we can blow it up. And in doing so, open a hole in the wall that we can slip through. That brings us to inside the giant stone head above the robot arms, which has glowing eyes for some reason, and a ghost teddy bear. It is really hard to grab these collectibles for some reason. You gotta be in just the right spot. Can we do it? There we go. I just hammered the A button, moved the camera all around. Eventually got there. That's all we needed to do in the giant stone head. Let's see if we can get a new circuit to get that elevator moving again. Here's where the circuit will eventually go. And I mentioned it, but we are in a place called Volks Corp, owned by Alexander Volks, and it is a legitimate arms manufacturing company in southern France, which is apparently very, very successful, and they do shady, evil underground mad science, unbeknownst to their investors, like many actual military arms manufacturers do in real life. Gigi's back, even though she bid us farewell forever last time we spoke to her. She's telling us of a new mechanic. Our engineer, because of what we did to him, is traumatized. Even when we possess his mind, body, and soul, we cannot move him past this hallway with the robot arms because we so disturbed him with the violence we perpetrated upon him that he's traumatized. He literally cannot be moved past that section. So we're a little bit screwed, aren't we? The circuit we need, the fuse, is way back here. Here's the blown fuse that he tossed earlier in his flashback cutscene. Another burned out fuse. Luckily, there is one working fuse that we can possess. And because when we possess things, they gain musculature and can do all sorts of strange things that would be impossible. We can roll this thing all the way to the back to just about where our traumatized engineer can walk over and bring himself to pick it up. But we are just nightmarishly evil. Like, this guy might someday have to go back to his job. And he literally cannot do it anymore because he can't go in the room where his job is. He is too disturbed because of past events. Legitimately feel bad, even though he is working for an evil company, doing evil things to our friends and us. There are no good guys in this video game. Just bad guys and worse guys. We might be the worst one. But, on the bright side, the elevator works. Goodbye, cesspool of a hydroponics lab. Now we can open these retina scan doors. Takes a long time. Needlessly long animation there. But it must be done. This is a fairly slow-paced game, and I appreciate that. If this were like an actual action first-person shooter, and they had that long of an animation to open doors, that would suck. But this game, we're mostly solving puzzles. So, taking a little breather to open the occasional door, that's fine with me. Also, it's secretly a loading screen. Not very secretly at all. Hey, an old friend.
What is it?
You had one job to do. You were ordered to lock down the containment wing and you failed. Now we have a rogue spirit to deal with. If this operation is jeopardized because of your incompetence, I'll use you to recalibrate that damn machine. Make yourself useful. Ensure nothing else happens to the reactor. Time to wake the rift, people. Watch those containment levels. I don't want anything getting loose for a change. Now!
Catalyst lasers charging. Catalyst laser firing. Ethereal density within tolerances.
So, picked up a few things in that cutscene. First was that Rourke appears... Cord, the first boss. That's who Rourke here was talking to. Cord looked like he was like 7 feet tall. That Rourke here is deceptively tiny. but I don't believe that to be the case. He appears to be our height. So, Cord's a giant. We might be too late to save Bryson. And ethereal density is some of the best techno-babble I've ever heard. Dense, ethereal, what? Can't do anything here as an engineer, because we're not supposed to be here. We do not have access. Trust no one is advice they do not take often enough around here. But here we have what appears to be the virus, the data we collected last time, a spreadsheet that is completely blank, and a figure of pictures of the moon, maybe? Yep, that's all that's in the computer. That was the same computer that was in the back of the engineer's room. Not much use to it, but it does exist. I'll grant it that. Real quick, we'll hop back in our engineer. Look at these professionals who are freaking out about their jobs because a military madman is screaming at them. Trying to block the way to the catalyst thing. I forget what they called it. At least that guy's polite. But anyway, let's possess the laser. We all knew that's where this was going. Reaction with the demonic rift. That causes this small opening to widen, allowing the ethereal energy to flow into our world. This thing shoots a laser to hell and opens it up. And that's how separations are performed, apparently. And,
The particle cannon.
we're breaking the entrance to hell.
Can't move it.
At this point, the guy is fighting me. I have to really jam on that analog stick to get it into position to burn the little nodes.
I can't get control.
Then we hold it on the node for a little while, and then it explodes. And apparently that's good.
What just happened?
Sir, I'm not sure. The particle cannon it just lost control. We have a gas leak near the reactor room. Hazmat crews are on the way.
Contact the reactor room. Tell them to run a full diagnostic and make sure the reactor is stable. If we lose it, we're looking at a permanent seal of the rift. Get that leak patched up and contact the medical wing. We're sending Bryson back until this mess gets cleared up. You got that?
Yes, sir.
So we saved Bryson, actually. Turns out that was good. There he is, all the way up there. He appears to have been recalled already, because I don't see his body up there. And apparently, what we did might permanently seal the rift. Which also seems like a good thing. I don't want Volks Corporation to have a portal to hell. But these guys are apparently manufacturing viruses and weapons of mass destruction and demons and ghosts and everything. Just a mishmash of hellish nightmare stuff they're working on here.
What do you want?
He's as irritated as he was before we blew up the rift. So at least he doesn't blame the engineer. That's a good thing. That allows us to move on to this room here,
Sir.
where we find some friends. They want us to fix the gun cam.
Sir.
We are an engineer, so I guess we'll do that. There it is. But, it's not exposed yet, so we can't fix it. That's what that thing on the wall is. which I'm going to need a human hand in order to manipulate. Doing things out of order here. Apparently you just press the 1 button and you're off. Definitely the sort of thing you need a engineer for. Now I'll just hide him for some reason. And possess the gun camera. We can zoom in, and it pixelates everything. Even further, since this is already a GameCube game. And then we start blasting. The screen does get rather blurry as we take damage. And we are taking a lot of damage. Hopefully that didn't completely annihilate the encoding process. All that static on the screen. But it had to be done. I've seen it happen with other games that use static as an effect. This guy trusts no one. And he was right not to. So now we got a soldier. We'll clear out this staircase. His clip is very small, but he has a grenade launcher. So that can speed things up, although it does require a reload after every grenade you fire. We can actually see right here something important. A ghost teddy bear. Our soldier has ghost vision. And he's done us a little favor by showing us this very hard to find collectible because it's just floating in the middle of nothing. Spiritual energy up. See if anyone is hiding behind an explosive barrel. There's one. Get an easy kill there. And that was the last one. There were a few higher up, but we already killed them. Now we can return to blasting. Oh, there's an enemy. Take him out too. Where the hell is my guy? I've apparently floated past him already. Well, while I'm here, let's move the engineer up. That will be the eventual goal. So let's get a head start. This is right about where we left off. My guy has either despawned or died. So that kind of sucks. I'm gonna make a run for it. Hopefully I've killed enough guys that I can make it. Slow door. Oh, so close. But yeah, my guy died, so I didn't have much choice there. Here's what happens when an actually important character dies. Alright. Now we seem to be back where we left off. I just had to replay the entire level. Where it said stage complete there, that little pop-up, that's supposed to be a checkpoint. For some reason, it did not function as a checkpoint. So when I just died there, right back to the starting room. So, not gonna make that mistake again. Kill everyone. as soon as possible, and as safely as possible. Start with our explosives. Get our ghost teddy bear again. Before we even touch the guy with the grenade gun. Just gonna kill everybody on this staircase. Which is only like 3 people. But it is enough to increase our safety, such that I don't have to replay the entire level again. And like I said, if I die here, it should restart me back where the gun cam starts acting up. Because that is supposed to be a checkpoint. And in previous playthroughs of this level, it has functioned as a checkpoint. Not today. I've actually seen that a few times with this game. Checkpoints just not working. It kinda sucks for the casual player of a video game. On the bright side of that sloppy programming, that guy did just slide across the ground with no animation. So you win some, you lose some. Hopefully that's all the tedium I have to deal with for the remainder of this level. I already know for a fact that it is not. But, we'll at least get to the bottom of the staircase and get to the intentionally tedious part momentarily. Get a grenade over their little barricade. That is a very powerful barricade. Almost to the ground floor. Come on. Thank you. Can't open this door. Engineer only. So, let's go get our engineer. No idea why our guy despawned last time. Mysteries abound. Numerous things had to go wrong for that previous level failure. But we've fully recovered now. We're right back on track. Hopefully the next checkpoint works, because where we're going later in this level, I am likely to experience another death. Oh, the engineer has a sprint button. I guess because they knew you'd be backtracking with him a lot. So they let him run. It makes very, very little difference. Oh hey, an HEV suit. This just got real Half-Life. Our engineer did look like Freddie Mercury. Now, he looks like Gordon Freeman.
Walters.
But apparently his name was Walters. We've received a rivet gun for our troubles. There it is. And it is a gun. We could start killing people.
Walters.
Bad idea, though. We would get a game over. So, now we're gonna do a job. We're engineering. That's the only way to progress. Luckily, the inputs are pretty slow here, but the controls are pretty awkward. They have inverted our x-axis for the controls in this minigame alone. Normally, it's not inverted, but for this minigame it is. So, just try not to forget all that. While also remembering the correct way to do the controls. I forgot something.
Walters.
I mean, I'm showing off what happens when you screw up. Yeah, that's the one. Try that again. Okay. I see what I did wrong. As does everyone watching this video. Almost there. There we go. Don't need to rivet them all, why would you? You just need to rivet several random spots on a panel, and then your job is done. Now he sends us on to the next room to do more work, and then when we talk to him again, he says, we're done for the day, go on home.
Sir.
This guy doesn't want us here.
Sir.
This guy does. No consistency, just random dialogue thrown all over the place. This guy, even though we weren't scheduled for another hour, wanted us here an hour earlier.
Sir.
And this guy's rather neutral. Got a series of lockers, and this next room that we can just walk into. It's clearly not locked. But there's riveting panels here, and here, and here, and here, here, and here, here, here. I'll be right back after I play 9 games of Simon. See you on the other side. Ah, success. All those slow animations finally paid off. They caused a locker to pop open with a collectible inside. A very hard-earned collectible. And yeah, sorry I spared you all that tedium. There was, for one thing, absolutely nothing to say about all these puzzles. And I had to focus, so I wouldn't have been able to do commentary anyway. That's out far away. Mercifully. 1 game of Simon was too much. 12 was a little ridiculous. Cord is back in his little office, being some kind of incoherent monster. Sort of Jaws-like back there, in the James Bond sense. Got our engineer in here. We have another pressure gauge. Probably going to want to pop that, because we have some guards who are mildly upset about the fact that they have to work with Cord. Let's make them scared to work with Cord. Don't even have to hammer the button, just press it once. And we gas them. Luckily it's not lethal gas, because we need these guys. They've got guns. Our engineer also has a gun, but the rivet gun is terrible. There's no way we would get through this using just the rivet gun. Now that we're good and armed, time to start killing.
Well, look who's back. Looks like we get to finish things after all.
Cord's theme begins, and we gotta start blasting him about the face until our host dies. Then we get a new host. Hosts are pretty expendable here. We just need their guns until they run out of ammo. It is weirdly random how much damage you do by just holding your machine gun to Court's head and firing non-stop. But we have no better option, so it's what we're going with. And when you start attacking Cord, the mounted guns also start attacking you. Reload animations preposterously overlong. No way you're gonna survive until you actually get your gun reloaded. But now, we can use the gun cameras. And they will immediately start attacking one another once you hop in one. Cord will fire at him. Screen gets blurry, so you lose track of him. He's taking quite a lot of damage at this point. Just get him in our crosshairs. Not really see him, just fire blind. See, he's hiding over here. When he does illogical things, he accidentally outsmarts us. Our screens do recover a little bit over time, but our health does not. So that one's offline. Got a little bit more health on this thing. Don't think you can gas him. I'll try. Just to see. But no, this thing's useless. That would have been funny though. Find Cord again. Without the second turret to defend him, he's a little less dangerous. You can actually catch him off guard. Here's our only remaining host. Cord should probably just execute him now. Taking a big risk here. Too big of a risk. Time to see if the checkpoint system works. Once again. This time we will save our progress, just in case. And see where they drop us off. Like I said, I expected that death. This boss fight is fairly hard and extremely random. I've done exactly those same things before in the past and had it work out just fine. But not today. Okay, we are back at the previous checkpoint. Better than being at the beginning. But I will nonetheless skip ahead to the boss fight. Because you don't need to see all this. Although, just to make absolutely sure, let us confirm that we have all of our collectibles. Yes, we do. Do not have to do all those minigames again. Okay, see you back at the boss fight. Back where we left off. Don't know why the checkpoint couldn't be here. But alas, we vent toxic gases. Everyone runs off. This guy in the back who wasn't standing on the panel here, he does not get scared. So, we want to kill him. Because we can never possess him. Therefore, he is only an enemy. Get him out of here.
Look who's back.
Then we can skip Cord's intro cutscene. Fill his guts with lead. I got a good nearly a quarter of his health bar. Make sure to reload first. Oh, he shooting me in the head already. That's bad news. He figured me out early. let's just keep on him. Not much else we can do. This guy hasn't fired a shot yet. Lucky for us. Basically no way to dodge. Just gotta take all the shots till you die. But we are doing much, much, much better this time. This guy only fired twice. Seems like some people want Cord to die. We might grant them their wish momentarily here. Just about. Barely even need to use the miniguns. Come on. There he goes. Dead for real. The true story of a guy named Cord. Then we get back in our engineer. We almost saved one of the soldiers too. Not quite though. And he left behind a floating key card. Good thing. And just to show it off, we can destroy the miniguns. They have no animation when they break down, but they do have a little broken down model. So the developers put some work into it, which I appreciate. Any attention to detail is good stuff. Although not strictly necessary. Weird Twitter channels that are entirely devoted to shooting fruits in the backgrounds of video games. That is not a measure of quality in a game. Stop doing that. Just be thankful when a game does let you blow up the fruits. Inside the reactor room, we find the toggle for a
collapse and seal of the rift is imminent. Repeat. Collapse and seal of the rift is imminent.
Find a hologram toggle, and we open a little hole in the wall, which no human can go through. There's a separation chamber, which we have thoroughly ruined at this point. Can look at this panel. It'll add to our text log. Hooray. Glad I did that. We will leave our engineer, having done a wonderful job destroying this facility for us. Quite literally. That lever we pulled is going to cause the reactor to reach criticality, which will have disastrous results. And then we'll go through this door, which only a ghost could go through, in this facility, where they make ghosts, and then try to contain them by giving them pathways that only they can use.
Sir, the rift is becoming unstable. It's about to collapse.
Boost the power and expand that opening.
Sir, we can't. We've lost containment. If we widen the rift...
Boost the power now!
Are you insane? We've lost the containment field. If the opening becomes any bigger, then God knows what will come through.
Do it!
Yes, sir.
Catalyst laser firing. System overload. System overload. System failure imminent.
The rift, it's collapsed. We won't be able to perform any more separations.
We've got bigger things to worry about. Contact all departments. Tell them we've had a large-scale containment breach. All personnel are to stay in their sections until we get this mess cleaned up. I need to see Volks.
Whoops. We literally unleashed Satan from hell into our world. On the bright side, it wasn't actually our fault. our mischief was only the catalyst which caused Rourke to go completely berserk, shoot one of his own scientists, and destroy the rift, fully opening it and causing global existential disaster for everybody, which we'll probably have to deal with later on in Geist.